It's time for Wave 3 Listens Live on Kentuckiana's first live local TV talk show, all hosted by John Ramsey. This is Wave 3 Listens Live.
And we are Wave 3 Listens Live. Welcome to the show. It's the Thursday edition. Looking forward to the show. We've got big doings today. And first on the list, take a look at this. This is furniture, actually patio furniture, courtesy of Brown Jordan Furniture. They're having a big warehouse sale this weekend. But hopefully you've got your name in the drawing because today we are giving it away. Very nice stuff. Look good on your patio. Also on the show today, Norton Commons is here. It's a unique community with a unique event. 12 homes, 12 charities, and you should be there. Girls on the Run, an interview about a great event. And Avante Skin Center. You know, when it comes to your skin, you want to look young, youthful. You want the experts. I have Ashley aboard here today. And wait a minute, Ashley, and why did I forget your name? Gosh, Jamie and Ashley, I am so sorry. They are here today. They're nurse practitioners. I just drew a blank. I guess I'm getting old. And Dr. Eli Karam is here. He is a licensed marriage and family therapist, Kentucky Association of Marriage and Family Therapists. Dr. Eli is here with us. And Dr. Eli, you know, it happens to the best of us. You have an issue with a spouse, with a family member, whatever the case may be. You want to talk to someone, why not talk to a professional? And we encourage you to go online, KAMFT, correct?
Yeah, the Kentucky Association for Marriage and Family Therapy. And there you see it online, KMFT.org. And you can go on there. Not only can you see all of our past installments on the show from the past year and a half, you can also see everything we got as far as news you can use, relationship health, and we're going to tell you how to find a therapist in a couple minutes. But we're here almost every Thursday taking your calls, so you definitely want to call in, and you definitely want to send your emails in, and that's what we got today, and that's how we base our segments on the show.
Yes, indeed. You know the number, 571-5263. Dr. Eli, you'll handle just about anything, and it's marriage season. I still think it's very interesting, and I think it's the right thing to do, is to do a little pre-marriage counseling and get in front of issues before you get married, and I like that angle because I think a lot of times young couples get married, they're all excited, the hormones are raging, and then they forget to handle, okay, we have a few issues that may escalate.
Yeah,
you talk to a pro.
That's right. I mean, most people think that, you know, there's a stigma associated with mental health, or that a relationship has to have a deep-rooted problem, but we find, you know, marriage and family therapists see things for what we call the health premise, seeing that every relationship gets stuck. In fact, there are some points on what we call the family life cycle where we're tend to get stuck. We have kids, we get ready to launch kids, when we think about starting a family, getting pregnant, kind of merging assets. So premarital work is great to come in, and we think that prevention is the best form of intervention. So you come in, you get these skills, how to fight fairly, how to talk to your partner, how to negotiate these expected roadblocks on the way to being a successful couple. So certainly every LMFT, and that stands for Licensed Marriage and Family Therapist, can help you whether you're married or whether you're single. We say on a lot of times we get questions on the show, people that are just wondering how to be in a relationship or how to learn from past failed relationships, or even how to exit a negative relationship. So you don't have to be in a relationship to see a marriage and family therapist either.
All right, 571-5263 if you have an issue you'd like to talk to Dr. Eli about. Let's say, if you don't mind, I'm going to grab an email.
Let's
here.
do it.
Okay, well, let's go to work. My son recently returned home this week with failing grades for his freshman year of college. My husband and I feel deceived as we didn't know he was in danger. His first semester grades were below average, but he assured us that he was on track this semester. We feel like we've just wasted $25,000 and have nothing to show for it. He's on academic probation but wants to return. Meanwhile, he's home with no job or plan for the summer except for hanging out with his friends. He thinks we're joking, but my husband and I are seriously considering not paying for school and letting him suffer the consequences. Dr. Eli, how should we handle this? It seems to me the son thinks this is no big deal and he's going to get back on track, but that's a lot of money to invest if you're not getting results.
Yeah, Kelly. I mean, many parents all over the country are feeling your pain as people come back from their first year of college last week, this week, or next. So let's give you some tips. First of all, let's think of some reasons why this happens. And many times you've had a son or a daughter that has academically been really successful in high school, and then they go to college and they hit a wall, and you're like, oh, we didn't see that coming. Well, it happens for first major reason is just this freedom, and with freedom comes a lot of responsibility. How you manage your time, and includes when you're going to study, and you know, studying in college is a little different than studying in high school. Also, lots of times people get preoccupied with their other events, join a fraternity, or you know, have some other distraction. So And the work is just harder a lot of times if you're taking an intense major. So all these are reasons that your son, in this case, or son or daughter, could hit the wall. Now, why didn't they tell you? That's an interesting thing. The other thing is, too, when you're at home, you can, even if your child is not that communicative, you're a young adult, you can kind of get an informal gauge of how they're doing, how you see them studying, and you get progress reports. Or many schools you can log online and maybe you can see their grade before you can. But college is a little different. Even if you're footing the bill with what we call FERPA laws and things like that, you don't ever see the grades, and then you find out, oh, they failed. I didn't see that coming. So one thing is what marriage and family therapists do is work with college-aged kids and their parents on how to communicate while they're away so that you don't get hit with a surprise like this. But now here's your situation. Your son is home. He thinks it's a joke, and it's not a joke to you and your husband. So to establish kind of accountability and rebuild trust, you have to decide that the natural consequences and the parental consequences. Sometimes the natural consequences prohibit your son even going back. If you fail out, you fail out. Other times you're on financial or academic probation. So if you're on academic probation, you got to hold by the rules of that university. And to build back trust, there are sometimes some parental consequences. So for many people, that is having a financial stake in the game, so to speak. So if you are writing out a check, that's $25,000. It's not an insignificant amount of money. You and your husband might decide if your son is even eligible to go back, to give him some financial, again, skin in the game, some financial stake in moving forward. So whether that be he'd take a loan or set up a payment plan with you, you might do that. You might also have some structure in place as far as a plan on how to communicate, as I was saying earlier. So whether it's a weekly check-in, whether you have his password so you can see his grades, and even determine if it's the best thing to go back. Many times college, while people will eventually get their degree at some point, it is not for everybody, especially some young adults. So in lieu of going back, in again, addition to see what it's like in the real world, perhaps you tell your son that you're not going to pay for it, and he's going to use that year to work or to save money or to have a plan. But you got to have a plan, and both an individual plan for your son and a parental plan. A lot of times where parents get stuck is they have overfunctioned for their son or daughter. So when, as I was saying earlier, when they get to school, John, they can't, the kid that usually has mom and dad doing this stuff now has to do it by himself. So you and your husband also need to decide what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do over the summer. So if you're doing his laundry, if you're giving him cash to go out with his friends, on one hand, and on the other hand, you're saying, well, you need to be more responsible and you need to do this. You're not helping him to do that. So any enabling behavior or anything that you're doing that could kind of subvert your goal of making him independent or accountable, you and your husband got to get on the same page. And that's why family therapists, LMFTs, are going to work with the whole family. Because if you want to do one thing, but as I said, your husband or another family member is sliding him some money or telling him, it's okay, just ignore her, it's probably not going to work. So in many cases like this, a marriage and family therapist would work with both you and your husband as co-parents, work with your son, and work with all of you together. So it's a very common thing, especially having a setback heading to college for the first time.
And it's really not unique to the college experience, although there is now a financial commitment there that is involved. With that being said, I mean, I have a son, and I think he's doing fine, and he'll have a great report card, and then all of a sudden his grades are dipping, and I go, what happened? You didn't tell us you're having trouble. Do you need a tutor? And it's too late, and it's already, it's part of his record. And it scares me. How far do you go with punishment? Is there punishment involved? Is, new accountability rules, like you were saying? Right. This is a tough one.
I'm glad you said that, too, because we have what we call developmentally appropriate failure. So no one is supposed to have it perfect at 18 or 19, or John's son's a little younger. So what you want to do is work with your son or daughter to expect these roadblocks and how to get help when you still can. And parents, tutors, in a university setting, there's academic centers. There's lots of places that can help, but you got to be proactive. You can't wait. I'm a college professor. I'm not going to have any sympathy for a student that comes in before the final exam and pleads their case, versus they tell me they're having trouble earlier in the semester. We put a plan together. I'm probably going to work with them. Same thing with a parent. So you want to make sure that your son or daughter knows that you can come to you. And sometimes parents that are overfunction or have done so well aren't purposely inaccessible, but your son or daughter doesn't want to let them down. They don't want to feel like they're failing, so they don't think, I'll figure this out on my own. Well, no, normally you're going to hit some walls, and it's also good if you have, it's a graduation season. You have someone that's going to graduate from high school, a loved one. You talk about this stuff. You have a game plan ahead of time. You locate the resources on the college campus, certainly if it's away, and at home, so you know how to check in. You know how to hit these predictable roadblocks, and then you have a plan. So you as the parent, or certainly as your son or daughter, doesn't freak out when it happens. That's a good one, though. You got to be able to come to somebody in time in order to get help.
It makes perfect sense. As you can tell, we have a professional here, a licensed marriage and family therapist. If you have an issue with your spouse, with a son, a daughter, perhaps your fiance, any kind of relationship in your life, give us a call, 571-5263. We've got one more segment here with Dr. Eli. He's going to talk to us, and we encourage your calls once again. And again, KAMFT is what you're going to jump on when you jump online and check out some of the licensed marriage family therapists in our area. There's the website right there. We'll be right back on Wave 3 Listens.
Walk MS connects people living with MS and those who care about them. It is an experience unlike any other, a day to come together to celebrate the progress we've made and to show the power of our connections. When you participate in Walk MS, the funds you raise give hope to more than 5,000 people living with MS in our community. The dollars raised support life-changing programs and cutting-edge research. Every connection counts. Register now, connect with others, and start fundraising today.
We have the professional help of a licensed marriage and family therapist. Dr. Eli Karam is with us. We call him Dr. Eli. And Dr. Eli, I think you're very good at picking appropriate topics because you're talking about teenagers and college-age students, and this is the time of year when they're getting ready to get out of school, and you're going to have to deal with that. Also, we talked about, this is the season to get married and get engaged. That all happens. And also, I think it's every season, whether it's fall, winter, summer, spring, whatever the case may be, you may have an issue with your spouse. You handle all of those.
That's right. Yeah, marriage and family therapists handle all those, and we really do. Whether you call in, and please do. Some people are a little timid, and then we'll get like 4 or 5 calls in a row, and we don't have time to take them. But a lot of people think they are alone, or they're in the bubble of their own relationship, as I call it. But no, these are normal kind of developmental issues that affect everybody. And today we're talking about emerging adults, your teenager, your youngsters having these problems. But marriage and family therapists, again, they're going to work with you. They're going to help you see that you're not alone, put together a plan, and move forward. Yeah.
All right. Matt is on the phone with us. Matt, good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Hi, how you doing?
You're doing well, Matt. How about you?
What's going on, Matt?
I'm doing all right. Just got a few questions here. Let's see here. Where do I start? Been married for going on 3 years in December. We got a 2-year-old. We didn't really rush into things, but we were planning on getting married, and then found out she was pregnant, so we moved up the date. Let's see here. Last year around this time, found out that she was being promiscuous, and then, we dealt with that and then went to marriage counseling. And now, here recently, a year later, starting to feel the same thing, noticing things. And, I'm just a hard-working man, just trying to do what I can to try and keep my family together. And I know our sex life hasn't been the greatest because I've kind of went down. My performance has gone down. It's kind of bogged me down as a man. I mean, I'll be 32 here in July. And I've been to doctors about it, and nothing seems to work. So I feel like that's the problem in my marriage, and I don't know how to what to do.
All right, Matt, I really appreciate that. That was, you know, you certainly shared a lot, and you're brave, and I appreciate that. So let's try to help you out. So you said a couple things. First of all, many people, if they're young and in love, they say, oh, well, we don't have a problem, or if we've had a good sexual or physical connection in the past, when things start to get off kilter in that way, especially when you're a young man, 32, it is pretty scary. It is alarming, especially if you go to a medical doctor and you can't find a medical or physical cause. So a couple of things that a marriage and family therapist can help you with. Well, first of all, good kind of just psychoeducation. I don't care how strong you are as a couple. You have a child, sexual satisfaction, marital satisfaction, it dips. I mean, we have lots of good research that says because of the stressors, a loss of sleep, now instead of just thinking about one other person, now accommodating a new life, really putting their needs above your own. This is going to stress even the strongest relationship. And, you know, I have two kids, 4 and 5, and only now, you know, the older they get, some normalcy returns, but your time is really not your own. So if you have a hard time making time for the couple early on, when you have kids, it's going to be that much harder. Now, you had another thing, a promiscuous or a breach of trust or infidelity, whatever you want to call it, that is certainly a big blow to any relationship. So to recover from that, it takes time. It takes transparency. It takes someone like you being able to forgive, someone like your partner really being accountable and transparent in what they're doing and what they're not doing. So also very common with a man or woman, when your partner strays like that, it does make you think about yourself. Am I not desirable? Why? What does this other person have that I don't have? So those are a lot of normal fears, and that can kind of get into your head and really kind of damage your confidence and maybe inhibit your sexual performance. So especially if you have a spouse that does not know how to handle that or gives you reason to be insecure, it can even make it worse. So you can do a couple things. Sounds like you went to a marriage therapist before, and they may not have been a LMFT, but when you go to an LMFT, again, that stands for Licensed Marriage and Family Therapist, of which we have 400 in Kentucky, many of them, most of them, centrally located in the Wave Country viewing area. You see it up there. We'll tell you how to find one of those in a second. So you can click on that box. It says Locate a Therapist, Matt, and what will be in there, only licensed marriage and family therapists. They will have profiles. You can click on there to their website. You're going to get a sense of them. And many people will see one therapist, and either because they're not trained to see couples or because it wasn't a good fit, they will see another one. So when you go back, you want to make sure you and your wife are comfortable. And that therapist may choose to work with you together as a couple. Or if you're really having these issues, Matt, where you're kind of lost confidence and you really need to be built up in that way, they can work with you individually as well, especially on these issues around if there's nothing physically wrong with you around intimacy and sexual performance. So that is something that I hope you do, and that you feel these same feelings coming on is a good sign. So I would trust your gut. Don't wait on that. You want a plan. And sometimes, as I was saying earlier in our last segment, you need an individual plan and a couple and a family plan. And a marriage and family therapist can help with that. So again, I appreciate your honesty. Thanks for calling, and I wish you much luck with that.
You know, to compliment Matt on being transparent, that's tough though. How important is it though when you have an issue like Matt has, for both members, both the husband and the wife, to be present during therapy? It seems to me Matt is open. He wants help. He's saying, I'm ready. What do I do? But if his wife is, maybe she's pushing back a little bit and saying, that's not for me. How important is it to have both of them there? Yeah, well, initially, when you meet the therapist, you definitely want both people there, unless there's some indicator not to. And what I mean by that, and it's your orientation, if it is not safe, if you're a victim of domestic violence, or there is something jeopardizing the emotional or physical safety relationship, you wouldn't. But in a situation like this, you just want to meet both partners, and perhaps what would come for that is deciding, is this a relationship we want to work on or not? And as we said, this discernment period, and a therapist might choose to work with Matt, especially if his partner was on board, but Matt wanted to kind of build up this confidence, work with some of these self-defeating thoughts he had before they did the couples work. So you could work as a couple, or you could work individually at a time, leading to doing that couples work again. All right, we have another caller now. If we can't get to the answer, what we could do is maybe continue the next time you're on the show. Courtney is with us. Good afternoon, Courtney.
Hi.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Courtney.
Hi, I'm calling basically where it stands. I've been in a relationship now for about 5 years, and it's gotten to the point where every single day we have to argue about having sex. It's not something that can always be done. There's not always time. We have kids involved. And I don't know what else to do.
All right.
I really don't know what to do.
Okay. Really good. And a common one. How much time I have, John?
You've got about a minute.
Okay, I'll give you the minute version. So in every relationship, there's what we call a higher drive partner and a lower drive partner. And sexuality, as we said, sexual connection, that last call, it's going to ebb and flow throughout a long-term relationship. And again, especially when you have kids, it's not that simple just to create intimacy. And stereotypically, most women get their intimacy and connection through, building time together first, shared experience, good things, and then they feel ready to have sex. Most men would start with the sex in order to get the intimacy. And again, it can be flip-flop, but that is generally how it works. So you want to frame it to your spouse is that you need to feel connected first in order to have that. And in order to feel connected, you got to do these little things, and you got to be able to fight fairly. And if it comes between a power struggle or just a fight about sex, and if that's all you think you are to him, it's not going to make you feel very attracted at all. So a marriage and family therapist is going to frame that intimacy in a way that is going to fit both members of the couple. They're going to help you guys develop these skills to build on this intimacy. So I definitely think it would be a good thing to go contact an LMFT. Go to www.kmft.org or the www.therapistlocator.net, and they're going to be really able to help you with something like that. These are great calls today. Again, things that sometimes people get uptight about, but it affects pretty much everyone, so there's no shame in seeing a marriage and family therapist. Again, remember, prevention is the best form of intervention.
And if you didn't get in this week, get in next Thursday when Dr. Eli will be back. All right, coming up here, we're going to talk about skincare, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed, it's all about the eyes. You see these bags? We're going to take care of those. Coming up next on Wave 3 Listens.
That's why it's not.
And that's why we did hers. This was her worst.
I think you look a lot brighter.
Yeah, it is definitely brighter.
Welcome back. Wave 3 Listens. Avante Skin Center of Louisville, they are experts. They're located in Westport Village. When it comes to youthful looking skin, healthy skin, that's what they're all about. That's what they do. Non-invasive procedures. With me now is Jamie Bryant, Ashley Snellen. I want to pronounce that right. Ashley
Snellen.
No H. Snellen. There we go. Anyway, welcome back, ladies. Glad to have you. Nurse practitioners and the very best at what they do. Avante Skin Center. Want to remind you of that. Today, we're going to talk about the eyes, right?
Yes.
Okay, now why the eyes? How important is that in a youthful appearance?
It's very important. Most people start with a little crepiness that they just, feel like it's aging them. And then some people have little fat pads underneath there that make them feel like they have bags, and some people just have excess skin. So today what we have is called Neo Tinsel. It's a new product, and it's called, they refer to it as shapewear for the eyes.
Okay. And now, in the past, Ashley, I had heard that the only thing you can do about bags under the eyes is surgery. That's not true any longer, right?
No, and we've known that this has been on the horizon for a while. It's just waiting for it to come out for us. So now it's here. It's the only product of its kind. Like Jamie said, it's the only product that's going to give instant gratification for people with sagging skin, that fat pad, that bag under the eye. It's long lasting. You're going to get 16 to 24 hours out of this product. And it's a simple 5-minute application.
So if you're going to a wedding, you want to look your best. Maybe it's a class reunion.
Maybe it's every day at work.
There you go. Yeah, whatever the case may be, this is instant gratification, folks. Okay, as a matter of fact, we're going to show you how it works. You guys have done a little pre-op, right?
Right.
Yeah. Tell me exactly what did you do there, Jamie?
Well, Laura came in this morning. What we did is we removed her makeup on that area. Ashley's going to do the same on the opposite side that I did earlier today. I chose her right eye because her right eye was puffier than her left. Yes.
Yeah.
It's not the best picture, but yes, her right eye
Laura's
was
a pretty
puffier
girl,
than
though.
her left. So we cleansed the area, let it dry, and then you put it on as 2 steps, okay? The steps themselves only take a few minutes. You can follow, all the instructions are in the little booklet. This is for you to use at home. It's not complicated. It's 2 different applications. You just let them dry a little bit in between, and then you give it time, okay? She's not going to be your high drama person because she really doesn't have that bad of eyes, but she has had a really good result. As far as brightness, I had this done on me last week. As far as the brightness, she has no makeup on that one side, and she looks brighter on that one side than she does on the other side where she has makeup. She has not reached her full result yet. As the day goes on, this will continue to get better. They say give it about 3 hours. It's getting close to that for her. But as the day goes on, she will notice that she looks brighter under that eye and will not need any concealer at all.
Wow. So in a workplace, not only is this like, the surface looking more attractive, more youthful, but also for those of us who are getting up there in age, it's competitive out there. The workplace is a competitive spot. A lot of young people looking to grab your job. You want to appear youthful, if for no other reason, for what you may do on the street, especially if you're in sales like Laura is. All right? I would think so. Laura, is this complex? Is this hard?
No, I can't move my face right now, though.
Oh, okay.
So I can't smile at
you. She's applying, so okay.
Because they consider this like Spanx for the eyes, shapewear. So as she puts this on, she is not going to make any facial movements. If she did, she could actually catch a little wrinkle, and that wrinkle might stay there until she takes the product off. But this is just a couple minutes.
Okay.
Right.
So.
All right.
And very, very moisturizing. This product will moisturize 2 times greater than anything you could use over the counter as far as a moisturizing eye cream.
Wow.
Which is great because that skin dries out really quick as well. And so the drier the skin, the more wrinkly it appears. So.
Now, you guys recommended that you can do this at home. But I'm curious, Jamie, is this something to where you should go in and have a professional do it, learn how to do it, and then take it home? What's the way?
It really doesn't take any skill to do this. The instruction manual will walk you right through it. But we are going to do an event at our shop. We haven't set a date yet, so you can come in and try one eye and wear it for the day. See how you like it. See if it's appropriate for you. I mean, if you just have little fine crepiness, this is probably not for you. But to be honest, the more dramatic your bags are, the more improvement you see. It's very impressive. If you have,
in my case, you're going to need like David Copperfield.
No.
I mean, you're going to come on. Walt Disney's going to have to do these eyes because it's the magical world. It would take magic.
No.
But I think it's interesting because I mean, it wasn't that long ago. The innovations in your business and your industry, skincare.
Right.
It is really unbelievable how fast they're moving. Because I had professionals, people who are very well respected in their field, say just surgery. That's all you can do. And now it's changed. Can we do a comparison here then?
Yes, you can. Like Jamie said, we did this eye this morning. So if you could zoom in on that eye, I don't know, you can see how much smoother and brighter. And again, you don't put makeup over top of this product.
Here we go.
Women are used to, putting concealer and makeup to try to brighten that tissue and smooth it out. And then of course, I just did the one on her left. So we've got to let that set. You really start.
I can see the difference though, look.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, from this one. I mean, this one's still wet from the product, but that will dry in about 5-10 minutes and then starts to see that result in about an hour. Peak in about 3 hours, and it'll last you 16 to 24. So again, this is great product for people with, and we've got